Alright, we're live.
Good evening, piglets. And I refer to you as piglets because you will be suckling the teat that is the BBR podcast. And for all the big pigs out there, you'll be eating from the trough that is the BBR podcast.
I do a
Because
terrible pig.
because you're eating up our words like piggies in the trough, like the swine that you are. I'm just kidding. I love you, swine and pigs and piglets and all that stuff. But yeah, we were already kind of doing the podcast before we even started to record today. What in the hell were we talking about? Gestapo
uh,
666 and the reissue of the second Total Vernic Tongue album that sold out in an hour.
and Huang Quan Records and Awakening
Huang
Records
Kwong.
and
Yeah, we like how Huang Kwong, they show them and their friends
Morphia,
eating. I like that. I want to eat.
Melty Fission.
Yeah, we were talking about Amorphia from, were they from China too?
No, they're from India.
Oh yeah, the Indian band Amorphia. They have cool artwork. It has a baby on it, but I actually like it because it's in like a test tube with the DNA thing, and there's like people getting sucked up into heaven. It sort of reminds me of that Finnish thrash band Antidote. They had a similar
Oh
looking
yeah.
thing where people are like flying around. Fred, do you remember that one? That it was called The Truth from Antidote. That looks cool.
No, I don't.
I just realized they're like coming out of a courthouse or something, or what is that? A mausoleum? I don't one because like they all got something. All these floating embryos have something different going on. One of them has headphones on. He's listening to some music. The other one has a
Wow,
briefcase. The other one's like looking at a. I don't know. He's talking on the phone.
I've never seen this.
Oh no, dude! It's a cool album.
It kind of reminds me of. Do you ever see the Witch Hammer cover of the first album?
Mm-hmm.
The Brazilian one.
Y- Uh, yeah. Is that the one where there's like a fucking ghost on it or something?
Yeah, there's a ghost coming out of like the last test tube, and each test tube has like progressively larger embryos in it. Uh, and they're all on the edge of a cliff for some reason. It's
Yeah,
clearly
yeah.
drawn in pencil crayon. Like it's not. Hang on, who drew this? Did it say in the Rubem Filho? Yeah, no, I guess it was just one of their friends who was like, "Hey, can you draw this for us?" And he's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Hey, that is
This is
they
always
had a
sort of a
song.
classic thrash
They had a
theme,
song
though,
called
man.
"Who Is Fat."
Who is fat? That sounds like something Joe Biden would say. Hey, fat, come here, fat.
I've listened to this album, but I don't have a copy, so I don't remember the name of the songs.
I've listened to this album, but I don't remember. It's probably thrashy. I don't know. I haven't heard it in a while. So that's a
Yeah, I
good
mean it's
reminder.
Brazilian
The
from the
golden era.
80s, so it's gonna be thrashy no matter what.
It's
They
gonna
were
be
incapable of
awesome.
making anything not thrashy.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome, Scoob. Sorry, I was just taking a drag.
Yeah. So
I was listening to that the new RFI with the Sacramentary abolishment. Everybody was digging that. Jubb was
yeah.
saying like, well, he was talking about that classic interview, that Russian interview that
Yeah.
somebody did. Was it Vermin that did that?
Yeah, I think it was Verminard.
Like, he's like, all you people complaining about metal elitism now. He's like, back in the day, he's like, oh, it was way more intense. So we need to
Mm-hmm.
bring some of that back. We need to bring back some of that intensity,
The hostility.
the hostility, right? Which reminds me, I took a picture of this review that I was reading. Speaking of like hostility and elitism or something, this is from the Grimoire magazine, written by Bill Zabub. Uh, this is this is fucking Defender, the guy from
Dawn and
Afflicted
shit.
and Dawn and Cranium. Yeah, Defender, his fucking solo project. And it says Defender, they came over the album's called They Came Over the High Pass. Here it says they came over the high poser, but here let me read this review. It's pretty good. It says, I knew I'd be listening to power metal even before I hit the play button, but I did not expect it to be this unbelievably bad. The singer breaks up words into ridiculous syllables and elongate the lyrics so awkwardly that I believe he's not trying to make fun of power metal. Instead of singing happy birthday to you, he would sing happy birthday, hey hey. It's just so bad for you. It's just so bad, you might want to sneak a listen just for laughs. The pitfall of clean vocals is that the vocal melody is very obvious, so if the same fucking notes are sung over and over again, it really taxes the listener's patience. Add this obnoxious tendency to follow the same melody as the guitar, and you've got one hell of a bad album. I'd expect this kind of writing from a high school band that was never exposed to metal, but for grown men to actually go and record an album like this is a cry for help, or a cry for gay sex.
What the fuck?
So yeah, that was in '99, so there's still a bit of hostility there, but we like that. Sorry, taking another drag here. Well, Fred, tell us about your exciting weekend.
That's it. Paul, how about yours?
Yeah, what'd you do, Paul? God, thank you, Fred. That was a doozy.
No, I didn't do much. I've been working on some interviews and reviews for next issue of the magazine I write for. And
what magazine might that be?
that is Metal Legion magazine.
Metal Legion magazine.
Where
Pick
can I
you
find
up a
that?
copy. Come get your car. Yeah, where can we
Get a
find that?
copy.
Metal. Yeah.
No, it's a nice looking magazine. Like, it's a proper printed, stapled magazine that looks nice and glossy. And for a magazine that looks the way it does, it has a lot more underground shit in it than you would expect. It's not like
That's true.
Metal Hammer or anything like that. It's
Yeah, I was actually reading your interviews from that magazine yesterday. I was just going through my magazines, and yeah, I liked both of them. There, fucking what's his name? The Verathron interview. He was saying he was still listening to black metal, and Mortuary Drape. I think they said they were listening to like Italian progressive music, is what he said.
Yeah, Mortar. What's his name? Wildest Perversion. It's you can hear it in the music too. That guy has not listened to metal since like the '80s. He just like
Fuck it, I guess.
every time he writes a new album, he just defaults to Merciful Fate, which is great.
Damn.
But
All right, well,
yeah.
Paul, would you like to regale us with your tales of woe?
Whoa,
Whoa!
wow, wow.
Where's Paul? Is he dead?
He
I
gone.
almost died.
Oh.
So what we do? What was it, Friday? Yeah, we saw
Friday.
Yeah, we saw Profanatica.
Ooh.
Doors
We
open
missed like
at
half the set.
Yeah, doors open at 7.
Oh.
We leave our bands probably start at 8.
Yeah, the
We-
show
we-
started at 8.
Yeah, we leave at like 8:30, 8:40, and then show up, and we find a spot to park, and then we're sitting there. Daniel does some disgusting shit, and I just pisses in the bottle.
I had to piss. I warned Paul. I said I'm about to do something really gross.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
I had to go.
And then then we're like, oh, let's go, and then you forgot your phone, or you left your phone because we were like, we don't need it, but the fucking tickets are on there.
I forgot digital ticket.
Yeah, so we missed
That
maybe.
didn't take long though. That only took like a minute and a half.
Yeah, and they started maybe 10 minutes before we got in there, basically. But they're like blown through half their set. It seemed like they're just going through it,
Double
one
speed.
after another. Yeah,
Yeah, it seemed like they just
Were
wanted
they-
to get done with it.
Were they headlining?
yeah, and it was
Yeah,
two
there was
bands.
apparently there was only 2 bands. It ended super quickly.
Oh my God.
It was over by like
Like 10.
9:45.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the old person in me is so happy to hear that. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it was such a early.
and by the
show.
old person in me, I mean just me.
The you,
Yeah.
Nomicon, the Fred.
Yeah, we go in there, and then we grab our drinks, and we make our way to the front, and then as soon as I get there, I just slip and just fall.
Paul slipped and fell on his face.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like
And he
got
was
up in like
down
a
there for
second.
like an extra long second. I'm like, you gonna get up, dude? He kind of laid there for a little bit.
Yeah, but no, it was a good show. It seemed like they had like not that many people were there, or there was a lot of people, but like they just made a lot of room in the middle for the mosh pit that wasn't existent yet.
The mosh pit was just the front. It
Yeah,
was just like people shoving each other in the front. Nobody was in the pit.
yeah, and it was just like the
And
big open area.
yeah, I saw that kid again, the crust punk with the
Oh
demon suit
yeah,
patch.
yeah.
I keep bringing him up, but he was there, and he recognized me, and he's like, give me a big hug, and like, you know, everybody's fucking moving around, and I have the whiskey sour in my hand, and then he starts shoving me hard, and I get sucked into the pit, and I'm like, wait, and I'm like holding onto this drink, and I'm getting bamboozled all over the joint, and I held onto that damn thing.
I thought I heard you
And
say,
he goes,
"God damn
"Oh,
it!"
yeah, God damn it!" And well, he's like, "Oh, sorry, dude, I didn't see you had a drink." And he's like, "You held on to it pretty good." So yeah, I held on to it pretty good. But you know, eventually, what's gonna happen is my beer went. Last time I at what the hell was the last show? Ascended Dead. My whiskey sour got kind of slapped to the floor. This time, it flew through the air.
Airborne.
So, yeah, so now people are gonna. I'm the guy who's either, you know, dropping the damn drink on the floor or it's flying through the air. That's how you know I'm at the show. The guy's fucking throwing the drink all over the place because I have to be up front with a drink.
So who opened? Anyone who know or meh?
Storm Ruler, was that the
Yeah,
name of the
something
band?
like that. Yeah, storm. Something.
That almost sounds like you're measuring a storm. That's not that. Who the fuck is Storm Ruler? I never even heard of these.
They're on the Twisters soundtrack.
I've never even heard of these turd burglars. Hey, whoa, they wear knight's armor.
Yeah,
God, why
that
did
is
we
some
miss this?
intense. 2 albums.
Don't like their second album art. See what the first looks like.
They're on Napalm Records.
Looks a little better.
Oh my god! Look at all these instrumentals. It's like Necros Christos all over again.
Oh man.
Instrumentals.
Yeah,
Oh
the
yeah.
first album, bunch of little. Oh man, the second one too. These are
That
probably just
will-
like the Pestilence interludes or instrumentals.
You know,
it was a short night though. Fucking, we're in the venue for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it
Then,
felt like
then
it
I
was,
went home.
Yeah, we were
Paul
trying to
stuck around
find.
because his buds were there, but they were looking for a bar, and I'm like, is there any bars we can just like sit
Go
down
into?
and get a drink? Every bar is a long fucking line outside. It's a million people. They got a bunch of like shit music blaring. I can't hear. I'm an old man. See, I'm a pissed off. Can I just sit down? You have a beer, please? God damn it!
All the old
turn
people
it, turn it
already,
down.
Hey, Howard!
already in the chairs.
Ha 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 ha! The Gary the retard laugh. I've been watching a lot of that. I've been. I had a really good weekend after that show. I didn't do anything. Like usually I'm bored just sitting around in my room doing nothing. But I don't know. This weekend was just nice. The new Paper Mario came out, or the remake. And I was playing that, watching Twilight Zone. I watched a couple of horror movies that started off kind of scary and then they get really stupid. A lot of the newer ones do that. I was watching this movie called The Tunnel, where it's like a fake documentary where they go into this tunnel and there's like, I don't know, a witch down there or something. And then you guys remember the Babadook? I watched the Babadook.
Yeah.
That was kind of scary.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
I didn't like the ending though. I feel like the endings of these new horror movies are always so
It was a bit of a
they're
cop
just
out.
like they're just too silly. I think. Yeah, I don't know what it is. They're always just kind of too stupid.
Well, that's disappointing.
Well, I also
Oh.
watched probably the best movie ever, Shaolin Soccer. I recommend it to you. Did you watch it?
No, I couldn't
man.
find the dub. I want to see the dub. You're gonna have to what you're gonna have to do is lend me the DVD, and then I'll lend you the Sling Blade DVD.
Okay. Yeah, we can
Yeah.
make a swap.
Yeah.
Fred, have you seen that?
Shaolin Soccer,
Yeah.
ages ago.
Isn't it the best movie ever?
I mean, it's no Big Trouble in Little China, but it's pretty good.
I think it takes it one step further.
You see, Paul?
I
Did you
mean,
say it
yeah,
was the
there's no
same
there's no
guy who
soccer
did?
in
Paul, did you say it was the same guy who did Kung Fu Hustle?
Yeah, Stephen Crow or something like that.
Oh,
Oh, was
okay.
it?
Fred, did you
Huh.
see that? You saw that, right?
Also a while ago, yeah.
For some reason, everybody's seen that movie.
It was fairly big.
Yeah, it was. I think it kind of came out. Didn't it come out around the same time as Kung Pao? I think it was like, oh, the age of the martial arts comedy.
That I don't know.
Yeah, this one came out in '04. Kung Fu Hustle, Shaolin Soccer was '01. But it looks like he had some movies.
What about Kung Pao?
I feel like that one may be
2002.
older.
No,
Okay.
2002. Everybody knows Kung Pao is the greatest movie ever.
I did not know that they had a. Oh no. They were gonna make a sequel to Kung Fu Hustle 2, or make a sequel, but it never. I guess they have a teaser out now for
Oh,
that.
good.
Wow.
I wonder how that's gonna be.
Too late. They should have done it during the golden age of.
Yeah, they said it was initially planned in 2005, but like, what the fuck took so long?
No, you know what would have been
That's
really good.
They did not hustle for that one.
No.
You know what would have been really good. Did you guys know there could have been a sequel to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, like the old one?
The elevator one or what?
Yeah, Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator. That was the next book in the series.
Willy Wonka 2, Wonk Harder.
No, it's Wonk Hard. Yeah, it was called Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, and apparently in the book, they when they fly off in the elevator into the sky. Apparently they go to Willy Wonka's space hotel, and they're like there's a bunch of aliens invading vermicious canids are invading the space hotel, and they shapeshift and they spell out the word scram.
I have never heard any of this. What the hell?
Yes, that what's his name who wrote that? Roald Dolph, the kids writer. He had some good books, I think. I don't remember. I think I might have read a few of those. Oh, he did Fantastic Mr. Fox. That was made into a movie.
Oh yeah, I
Fucking
remember that.
what's it called? God dang, Wes Anderson movie. But I like that one. It was funny.
Yeah, that was good.
He made a movie called, or was it The Witches? I guess it was The Witches. I never saw this. People were saying this movie's anti-Semitic.
They caught another bunny.
Oh, I did see it. I saw a part of this where they like take off their wigs and they take off their faces. Oh, James and the Giant Peach too. That was fucking good. Did he do Matilda too? Was that made a new movie? Was that? Oh yeah, it was Matilda. Fucking Danny DeVito's in that one. I think they showed us that one in. They showed us that at school for some reason. I don't know why we watched Matilda.
Yeah, I think everyone just does that. It's just what was on hand.
Well, I had an English teacher who showed us what was that one? The Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I think
Oh,
that
really?
would have been like
Best movie ever.
Yeah, that would have been like 7th grade. We had a teacher named Mr. Strand. He was kind of a strange guy.
Girls and dogs.
And yeah, he showed us that, and he showed us a movie called Clifford from like '94 or something. It's Martin Short, and he plays a little kid. So what they do is they like superimpose Michael Short's adult head on a kid's body, and he acts like a kid who's like likes dinosaurs and stuff. It's a pretty funny movie.
Like when they do that in George Lopez.
Right, exactly. Like the way they do it in George Lopez. That's very true.
Just to go back to Monty Python's Holy Grail, can I just say one of my favorite parts in that? After the French Taunter, and they've started launching all those animals at the Camelot Nights. You remember that?
I think
And
so. Yeah.
Arthur yells them to charge the castle. And so they charge the castle and they're attacking it, but they're being pelted by farm animals from above. He yells for them to retreat, and they all run away. And I don't know why this absolutely kills me every time I watch it. They're all running away, and John Cleese's character, Sir Lancelot, as he's running away, stops, turns back, whacks the castle turret with his sword, and then keeps running. And I'm like, why did he do that?
Because he's a wacky Englishman.
Oh yeah, no, I mean like the comedy aspect of it is brilliant, but just like from the character perspective, I'm like, what the fuck do you think he was going to accomplish with that? But yeah, my favorite scene in that is just that cracks me up every time.
Did you ever see John Cleese's TV show Faulty Towers? You must have seen
Yes,
that,
of
right?
course.
That was a really good one. It was on Netflix a long time ago. It's
Yeah.
been a while, but I remember liking it a lot.
Yeah, he's such a old fuddy-duddy in it.
Yeah, we love our
the
old fuddy-duddies, don't we,
the
folks?
time's changing around him, and he's not changing.
That's cool. That's how I feel. Like
Can't
an
tell.
old bastard.
Tell me about it.
Oh, something else I forgot that happened at that show. That same damn kid, the crust punk kid. The show's over. Bands are done playing, and he's on the stage, and he's pointing to me, and he's like, "I'm gonna stage dive, catch me." And there's nobody really around me, and I'm like, "No." I'm shaking my head, going, "No, don't." And he jumps, and I kind of like catch him, but I throw him off me. I don't like what am I supposed to do? Catch this guy in air? I don't think so, pal. So I kind of catch him, but he like hits me in the fucking eye, so I have like a bruise on my eyebrow and like
Oh my
like
God.
basically where you would get a black eye. I got almost a black eye from that. And then where I throw him, he lands on this big girl. She wasn't a fat girl. She wasn't a tall girl. She was just big. And she's on the floor, so he knocks her down. They're both like on the floor.
For a minute there, I thought this was your fat person story of the week.
No, she wasn't fat. She was just big.
All right, no, I'll keep waiting. It's all good.
But after that, Paul's like saying bye to the crowd, and then he just hops up and hugs him. That same crusty guy. Do you
Yeah.
see that too?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Well,
that
Paul
funny.
was giving everybody a slap in the hand. He's like, "Hey, give me 5, brother." And then everybody was like in line, and I think everybody was getting like autographs, like their CDs and LPs and things autographed. I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah, just
Well, I bought
snag
a
the shit
ticket
there.
to a show happening in July.
Big bands or
The-
smaller bands?
Smaller. The one that I'm going for particularly is the Canadian band Outre-Tombe.
Tombe?
Outre-Tombe. Who fucking rule. A local band called Copperlith is playing, and they're really good, actually. They're good death metal. And then a French band that's signed to Hell's Headbangers, I don't actually know very well. Skeletal. It's like skeletal with an H
Oh,
after the
dude,
T.
I bought an LP from them years ago, and I sold it because I didn't like it.
Okay, cool.
Wait, was it Skeletal? I swear it's Skeletal that they stunk. Is it do they have an album that looks like a fucking Vincent Van Gogh painting?
I looked at their
different
discography briefly, and I don't think so, but
I might be thinking of a different band, buddy. I am.
there's
I
a
am.
there's a Finnish band called Skeletal that I actually quite like, but maybe you
Wait,
didn't.
that's what I was talking about. Let's see. I actually just looked at the wrong band, maybe. Skeletal. Might not be this band. I could have sworn it was this fucking band. Anyways, carry on.
Yeah, no, that's coming up
Before I
in
rude-
July.
Before I rudely interrupted.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about them, so I'm gonna have to listen. Like the tickets were only $20, and I would pay that to see Outre-Tombe anyways, so I'm not complaining.
Like I said, the Profanatica show did end very early, and as soon as it was over, I was outside standing there, and a guy and a girl walk up, like, "Hey, is it over?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's over." And he's like, "Oh," and they just like went home. They thought they did the same thing as us. It's like, you show up for the last band, but yeah, they showed up after the last band, so
Yeah, I think
they had to go home.
this
They were
last-
dressed up in their metal garb, and they had to go home.
This last time was
Darn.
probably the latest I went to a show like where the last band is like halfway through their set. I can't imagine showing up after.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever showed up and the show was over. That's never happened.
Yeah, yeah, that's a new low.
I showed up to see Evil Dead a long time ago, and the show was sold out. but I already knew that like it was a 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
I got to when Abigail played Toronto, like 6 years ago. For whatever reason, I had to leave really late, and I got there like with 15 minutes left in their set, which sucked. But what can you do? They were a lot of fun though.
Yeah, dude, I was checking out. Remember way back in episode 10 when we covered the band Whore,
Yes,
and I was also
that was a great demo.
yeah, and I was also saying like, oh, I was gonna cover Beyond or something like that, and then I was saying, oh, Omega Vortex is kind of like the next Beyond record, and you didn't really care for that one as much. But I didn't even notice this. I was looking through the Omega Vortex lineup. I guess a couple of the guys played in Beyond. They're German
Really?
too. Yeah.
Huh.
So I guess that just makes sense. And I guess it kind of is. It's the vocalist and guitar player, so it kind of is the next Beyond record, this Omega Vortex one here.
Yeah, I guess so. Closest thing we'll get, anyways.
Abominations. Fun. Yeah,
Fatal
I was
Power
looking
of
through them
Death
a
is
little
one of the best albums I've heard this millennium. Like it's
pretty-
so
yeah,
good.
it's pretty awesome. Fucking, I guess the bass player in this band is also in a band called Chapel of Disease. I believe, Paul, you tried to you showed me this band for like a second, right? Chapel of Disease.
Oh yeah.
Was it the 2020? What the hell album was it? Because I remember you showed me something, but I didn't like it. Oh, it was the 2018 release. And as we have seen the storm, we have embraced the eye.
Yeah,
That
I've seen
title's too long.
people. Yeah, I've seen people. Kind of frame this as like a modern death and roll, but doesn't give that vibe
really?
off at all.
Really?
No, to me, it gave off the later Deathspell Omega vibe where it's too artsy. I don't care for it.
I must have heard one of their earlier albums, but the one where it's like some dude reading a book with like purple tentacles behind him.
Yeah, that
That
one looks a
sounded
little
like-
more straight. That one looks a little more straightforward.
It sounded more straightforward death metal,
Well,
like
well, it
nothing
says-
like what you guys are describing.
Yeah, well, it says right here, death metal early. They played death metal early, and then later it says progressive death metal, hard rock. So I think that's what I heard. And I didn't
All
like
right
it.
then.
Yeah, it's like it's solely not what I want out of death and roll, but I was trying to give him a chance.
They went full Wolverine blues.
This other guitar player, his name is Arjan, I guess. He's in a bunch of like pagan black metal bands that are actually kind of cool. Fred, you might have you heard of Cultus? Been around for a while.
Which one?
Cultus.
Cultus? Yeah, they did the Seat in Valhalla, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a funny album title. A Seat in Valhalla.
So you know what? I actually almost posted that on my
Kept it
Instagram this
warm
morning.
for you. Oh really?
Yeah,
Yeah, great minds think alike, don't we, Freddie?
yeah, and we do too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a knee slapper.
Yuck.
Yeah, a lot of this guy's projects are cool. Hemdials Walked, Saganland. Yo, dude, the guy from Omega Vortex also played in Black Death, who we were talking about just before the show too. I know, isn't that crazy?
I didn't know this guy was so prolific. I have a bunch of these projects.
Yeah, he's
Untar,
cool.
Untar is really cool.
Which one's?
And hey, look,
Let me see.
we were talking about Black Death earlier. He plays live for Black Death.
You just freaking said that.
Tar. Untag even glauten. Okay, all right.
Give it to me, baby.
And all the girlie said he's pretty fly for a white guy.
That's a great song.
Original prankster.
That's a different
Okay.
song.
That's a different song, but I like that one too. You got
Yeah, it's a good song. It's identical, but it's a good song.
Yeah. Okay, Untar. I'll check out Untar. It's got a farmer hanging out with his lambs. That's pretty black metal.
Yeah, the
pretty
split
black
with-
metal.
Split with Evil Feast is really good too.
Split with Evil Feast. Oh, okay. I saw something else this guy was in. He was in he was in Mordahoth. You guys know that band, Mordahoth, where the guy's standing there with a fucking chainmail on and his helmet and everything?
I know which band it is, but I haven't really listened to them.
That's the same feller from Necromantic Worship, which is a good band, actually. I was
Oh.
wearing their T-shirt at the show there.
You don't say.
Yeah, I like that band. The two demos there are really good. I didn't even know they had a split last year. That's pretty cool. You like that band, Fredward?
Have not really heard it.
Oh, you haven't heard Necromantic Worship?
No.
Oh, dude, that's surprising. It's well, it is what it sounds like. It's necromantia worship, but it's like awesome.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking killer. It's killer.
Wait, this guy was in Pest too? Holy shit, this guy's everywhere.
Yeah,
The German Pest. We all love Aura, right?
The German Pest?
Yes. We do all love Aura, right?
No, I never really listened to it.
Oh,
I'm a fucking retard.
I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
You know, have I listened to Aura? I don't know, dude. It looks really fucking familiar to me. Maybe I have.
Look at the 23 Full Moon Productions version because that's the cover everyone knows.
Let's see.
Because
Oh, okay, yeah.
the self-released version did not get very far, but Full Moon reissued it, and that's what everyone knows.
Actually, I thought the other one was more fucking. I recognize that more.
I know,
No,
but that was it was self-released and had really shit distribution. I think there was only like 300 copies. So when Full Moon reissued it, that was what most people saw it for the first time as.
No, Fred. Once again, you're schooling us, spanking us. No, I've never really listened to it, but I'm kind of
Oh,
giving a brief few second consumption here. It sounds pretty awesome. It sounds cowboyish. Why is it so cowboyish?
if the Black Death had an audible sound, this is it.
Yeah. Well,
This is
it
an
is sounding a
amazing
bit like
album.
it is sounding a bit like the OG fucking Pest Noir album to me. Just from a brief
If you
glimpse.
don't
Just from
believe
a
me,
brief glimpse.
you know who else is a huge fan of this album? Hope.
Hope.
She loves this
Yeah, I'm
album too.
hopeful.
She is
Okay.
right to do so.
Okay, another classic for me to check out. I still need this. You know, I can't. A man can only listen to so much, or remember so much. So
Yeah,
that's,
but put this
that's
one
on
up the list.
That's
Yeah.
on the list. That's on the big
Near the
list.
top. Near the
Yeah,
top.
I was going through a little bit of stuff today that I either haven't heard or haven't heard in a while. I listened to that 2010 Bloodfest album. That was really good. The fucking 2004 Shooter album, the Desert Northern Hell. I was listening to that. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I was listening to actually finally getting around to that first Death Spell Omega. I like that better than the later shit.
Which one, Inquisitors or Infernal Battles?
Infernal Battles.
Yeah.
And then also,
Yeah,
I was
I
listening
think,
to the second Behexen album too.
By the Blessing? That's my favorite.
Yes. 'Cause I
Yeah,
remember Paul
sound
had
on
a
that's
back
awesome.
hat to that, but I don't know if I had ever heard it or not.
No, that's my favorite. There's Ritual Santanum is really good too, but that one just kind of pushed it to the next level. I don't know why it makes me think of this, but I think it's because they're on Woodcut Records. You guys heard Funerus Nocturnum?
I don't know. Probably not. You know me. I don't know anything.
Specifically, Pure Satanic Blasphemy. It's like from 2000, around there. Turn of the century, anyways.
Funerus Nocturnum. Nope, don't know this.
Okay, so the drumming on this album is just bonkers.
Is it a
It's like
drum
the-
machine?
No, it's not. But it's like Dark Funeral is like, we're gonna do blast beats from start to finish, and these guys are like, hold my beer. The drum sound on this is just bonkers.
See, I actually have been more interested in black metal like this. That's more like on the Norsecore side, but slightly more varied, I guess. There was another one. There was a couple that I sent you guys that seemed really interesting to me. forget. These are bands that are connected to like, fucking
Liar
Bloodfest
and
in
Liar and
Denmark.
Wait was really cool.
Liar and Weight was really cool.
Yeah.
I think the channel that was on is called Tempestuous Might, and it actually has a lot of interesting underground shit you probably hadn't heard before. But yeah,
That wasn't the
that
full
is
wasn't the full
fucking
demo though, was it?
Um,
I think it was only a track.
they had no
track
they
or
had
two.
I think they have all three of the tracks, but they're all separate videos.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't look any further than that.
Sorry, I'm chewing on a carrot.
A carrot. That's good. Good podcast food. And surprisingly, we haven't heard any crunching. It's a
No,
it's a
my
quiet
mic has
carrot.
that. My mic has that weird fucking defect. Remember, you can't hear outside noises. Look, you hear that? I'm snapping.
No, I don't.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's got the defect. I can't. You don't hear outside noises.
Maybe you just got stealth carrots.
No, you can't hear shit.
Like he said, no. Like stealth carrots are actually a thing.
No, these are not stealth carrots. I've had stealth carrots.
Did you get
before.
stealth carrots? No, not
Yeah.
today. It's
Oh,
Monday.
this other band, dude. I sent you guys the fucking demo for this band. It was called Soul Verve.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
It's
I've heard
fucking
that one before.
awesome.
Yeah,
It
that's
sounds
good.
crazy. It sounds like I don't know. It sounds like a guy playing the guitar, but he's falling down the stairs, but he's still playing. Damn it! Kind of like me with the
really,
whiskey sour, holding on to that sour. Damn it!
a really cool EP I found out about yesterday. I was actually chatting with Nas Alchemeth from Nightbringer, and we were talking about Canadian bands because Sacramento
Casual.
Embellishment came up, and I mean he's on Instagram.
Right.
We all chat on Instagram, and a Canadian band called Ontos On, and I've never heard of them before.
Me neither.
ONTOS space ON, and they have an EP from 2000 called, hang on, Somber Chaotic Entrance in the Chasm of Existential Resignation. And it's fucking awesome. It's such a good EP.
Well, the album artwork reminds me of Pyrogenesis.
Pyrogenesis? Yep.
And the logo reminds me of Poison. So, that's promising.
It's a really good EP. I don't know about the album, haven't heard it, but that EP is fantastic.
Okay, I'll give this. Let's see. Let me give a quick.
Consumption.
Consumption.
It's
I need more
consuming.
time. I'm hearing a lot of organs.
They use an actual church organ. I think it says that on their archives page.
Music of Destruction is live. He says, "Thank you for your hate." This guy will be the next metal lol cow.
Thank you for your hate.
Blow up his channel, everybody.
Blow it up.
Music of Destruction.
I don't know what this voice is. I'm just doing things now.
I could have sworn that sounded like something, but I can't think of what. Blow it up. I don't know.
That sounded like Fred being an idiot.
No.
Well, I mean, it did, so. I'm okay with it. I've made peace with that fact.
Oh, there's this like raw piece of shit black metal band called Luciation. I want to check out some more of that. That seems pretty cool.
I've heard of this band, but I have not listened to them.
They sort of reminded me of that damn what was that Australian band called? Fucking the Forbidden Citadel of Spirits. Kind of remind me of that, or maybe like early Streborg or some shit.
Well, I've been
fucked
on
up.
a Barbarian Wrath kind of binge lately because
No.
I guess we'll cover more of this when we talk about our collection updates, but I got Revenge of the Horned One Part 1 from Countess,
That's a good one.
and then after chatting about Countess and Barbarian Wrath in general, I've been listening to Alastor and Graveworm and all the bands that were on there, and such a good label. Alastor were fantastic. I
always
think
get
they're still going.
confused about Graveworm. Isn't there like 3 bands called Graveworm?
Yeah, so the Grave Worm spelled with an O is like a gothic sort of metal thing. I don't know very well, but they're signed to Napalm Records at some point. But Grave Worm spelled with a U and an umlaut over the U, obviously,
Right.
is this like retarded black kind of death metal thing. And their music is so simplistic and like short-ish songs. I don't know if they're short or they just feel short because they're like really primitive. But like this is like knuckle dragging stuff. It's really cool. I like it. It's like stupid but has a charm of its own. And I think they've like refined themselves a bit because they wound up on Hell's Headbangers, and I can't imagine they wound up on there if they didn't like progress their sound a little bit. I have one of their, I'm gonna say later albums, but still like 14 years ago. Blood of the Pentagram, that was on Hell's Headbangers, but the ones on Barbarian Wrath, especially the first one, Ancient Storms of War, it's just like really lo-fi. Like I don't know if it's a drum machine, but it sure as hell sounds like one. I think it was a full band though, but either way, it's like I don't know. Just if you haven't listened to it, check it out. It's like it's special.
I don't think I've listened
Dark
to
Dark Souls of Hell is pretty fun too.
Cadaveric Dementia. Yeah, it is really simplistic.
Yeah.
We're given the quick review again. I do remember the other Grave Worm. They had a stupid cover of "It's a Sin" by the Pet Shop Boys.
Oh God. the Italian Grave Worm. I remember they used, I think it was like Luis Royo artwork on one of their albums. I think it was Luis Royo. And it's too bad that such a good piece of art went to such a album.
Piece of shit.
Yeah, I think they might have used it more than once actually. The album's As the Angels Reach the Beauty. That's Luis Royo. That was a different one. There we go. Scourge of Malice. That's another one of his art, I think. Yeah.
See,
But-
you guys ever hear of a
I've
band
heard-
from
listen to this.
I think a band from Denmark called Corpse Vomit? You ever heard of that?
Mm.
Listen to that
Hello?
shit.
Oh, hang on. This logo looks familiar.
Denmark, right?
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, you remember that album cover? Look at that.
That dude is chilling. He's like, I got a skull beach chair. I'm digging it.
What dude are you talking about?
The Corpse Bonnet? Raping the
Yeah,
ears
Corpse
of those above?
No, the one from Denmark.
Put it as one word. All right. Well, put it as two words. Or, sorry, put it as one word. Look at the American band and their one album. That's like a Skeletor kind of figure just sitting in a chair. It looks like he's just chilling at the beach.
I saw that too. That looks kind of cool. But no,
Yeah,
I was talking about the one from Denmark.
Oh,
Drowning
yeah,
in
I've
Puke.
seen this cover too. But the cover is not very faithful to the album title, I have to say.
No, it's not.
Might have to
That's
listen
all-
to this.
I know
Corpse
there's
little
another
upsetting.
version of this, but I don't. Well, there's another artwork at 2012. That one's a skull vomiting. So then,
You better be drowning in it.
you're gonna be drowning in it. I could have
You
sworn there was
better.
another version of this. That
You
no, I guess-
better be.
Yeah, maybe not. They got a track 8. Look at that. Listeners
Oh,
at home,
man.
track 8 is called Gay Dog. That's a good death metal title.
And I
You
guess
know-
that other band, Corpse Vomit, they got reissued by Sunshine Ward.
Sunshine Word? Oh, Word?
The American one?
Yeah. And then one of their song titles is Mind Scabs.
Maybe that's why I recognize the cover.
Say Mind Scabs?
Yeah, Mind Scabs.
Ah, okay.
Maneth Gabby.
Could have swore there was a band from Finland called Mind Riot, and I think they were supposed to be death and roll, but maybe they aren't. An album
Maybe.
called Peak, and somebody gives a review. It says lackluster in a lackluster way. Okay. The album cover looks like something I would be into, and I'm sure I have heard this before, but I don't remember what it sounds like.
Similar
weird
artists, Godfall.
Similar artist Godfall. Godfall's good. I thought that album was pretty death and rolly.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little more grungy. I don't know. You ever hear that, Fred? The Godfall album. It was called The Sound of Robo Groove.
No, I have definitely not heard that.
You might like it. You might not like it. It's close enough to death and roll for me.
Wow, that is like one of the most 90s cover I can imagine.
Which one? The Sound of Robo Groove.
Yeah.
It's good. Did you ever hear the other one's fucking pretty weird, dude? It's like some kind of strange mellow death with like clapping in it.
What, the demo?
The demo, yeah.
No, I don't think so. If I have heard this, is a long time ago, but off the top of my head, I don't think so. Huh, interesting. Oh, they appeared on some Repulse Records compilations. Weird.
Say, Fred, are you a horror movie guy or not really?
Yeah, I am.
Oh yeah. Did you ever see? I was watching one this weekend too. It was called Body Bags. John Carpenter. You ever see that?
I don't think I have, no.
It's cool. It's a trilogy. It's there was one with the guy. I forget his name. He was in the show Titus. He played the dad, and he was in the Cheech and Chong movies. He was Sergeant Stadenko. If you've seen this guy, if you've seen this guy, you'd recognize him. But there was one of the trilogy stories where he's self-conscious because he's losing his hair, and he gets like some kind of shampoo shit from some company or something, and then it starts growing out of his face, and then like you see the hairs when you cut them, they like squint like inch away like worms, and then like it shows them in the magnifying glass, and they got like teeth, and apparently the guy who made the shampoo is like an alien. He's like, you humans and your vanity, and then like the hair aliens they kill him. They fucking fuck up his body. And then John Carpenter's like the storyteller guy. He's like in a morgue. He's like playing with the dead bodies and stuff. And then at the end, he's like a corpse. He's like one of the corpses. You find out. Oh.
I have definitely not seen that, but I'm interested.
It's dope. It's a pretty fun movie. I assume it's from the 90s, maybe 94, 95, something. Oh, you know who's in it too? The main dude from Revenge of the Nerds. I think he's like the killer at the gas station or something.
Oh, cool. It's not a horror, but you mentioned John Carpenter, and I've been wanting to watch Assault on Precinct 13 again lately. It's such a good movie.
Those nerds! Assault on Precinct 13. I've never seen this.
Oh, it's great. It's just a bunch of criminals laying siege to a police station, and they're just trying to get out.
Yeah,
it's about as violent as you'd expect.
Oh, okay. What was that one trilogy? I can't remember which one. I don't know if it was not Trilogy of Horror, and maybe I don't know if it was the Tales from the Crypt, but it was one where like this guy, he's getting like attacked by a demon or something, and then some lady saves him, but then she like turns out to be the demon at the end, and he has like kids with the demon, and he's like, he goes, promise me you'll never tell anybody about this, and then he tells somebody about it, and then that like breaks the curse because she was a lady, and then she turns back into a demon, and all the kids are demons.
It doesn't ring a bell. Like, do you mean like John Carpenter's Apocalypse trilogy?
It was, I don't know which trilogy it was. I don't know if it was Tales from the Crypt or something else. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. I'll just look up Demon Lady horror trilogy. I just remembered
Demon Lady.
No, it's called. God, I
I
don't know
would
what the
watch a
fuck
movie
it's
called Demon Lady though. Just saying.
Demon wife. Beetle breakfast. Last night with the devil. Magda. A disturbing trilogy part 3. Is this it? No, I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. I can't find it. Anyways, Fred, what day is it?
It's Monday, June the 3rd.
Right.
Why is that date
So what does that mean?
significant?
It is the 20th anniversary of Quorthon's passing. We are
Right.
20 years without Bathory.
What's up with that?
It sucks. That's what's up with it.
Yeah. So what can the master of metal, the master of heavy metal, what can the master of heavy metal tell us about Bathory? What can you talk about here?
Oh, well, I mean, what I always go
Wait,
to is I interviewed him. That's my claim to fame.
one day we will upload that full interview.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rip that
On
cassette one day. It was on the phone. It was
That
on
would
the
be
phone.
fucking awesome.
Uh,
What year was that there?
that was 2003 in April, if I remember correctly. Uh, Nordland 2 had come out like a month prior, and I worked for, well, didn't work for, but I wrote for a webzine called Uber Metal, which is long, long dead. And they worked in such a way that, and I remember the guy who ran the site, his name was Tyrone, and
Right.
there was like no structure. It's just like, I wrote a review, cool, I'll post it. I did an interview with these guys, cool, great. So when I got the CD for Nordland 2, I was looking through the booklet and I saw Quorthon's email address in there, and I'm like, there's no harm in emailing him and asking for an interview. I had done that with Dark Throne. I contacted them, or tried to contact them through the Moonfog webpage, and that went nowhere. So it kind of like just shot an email into the dark, thinking, it's nothing will ever come of this. But like 3 hours later, not even, he responds saying, "Yeah, let's do it. I can give you a call on such and such day, and we'll do an interview." I'm like, okay, didn't see that coming. So one weekend afternoon, he calls me, and the interview was like an hour long, but we talked for just under 3 hours, I think. And yeah, like really, he had a reputation of being a total joker and not taking anything seriously, but he was funny, but I didn't feel like he was ever like pulling my leg or anything, just having a good chat. He did tell me some stories. I can never verify the truth of those stories, because there's no way to now. But they were funny. My favorite story they told me, I forget if I've told this on the podcast before, but fuck, here we go again. He said he took a trip to, I think it was Los Angeles, somewhere in the U.S. anyways, and he had heard that there was supposed to be a satanic ritual or sacrifice happening in the city somewhere. So he walked around the city and tried to find where it could be, and he came across a building with weird symbols on it and a guy in a black robe. And he went up to him and said, "Hey, is this where the satanic ritual is going to happen later on?" And the guy was just horrified. He was like, "No, absolutely not." And he later realized that that was a synagogue. And he had asked
Synagogue
that
of
from the
Satan.
rabbi. Yes, Marduk.
Damn. Sorry, Rabbi.
And I remember because I was recording over the phone, I had two friends who were massive Bathory fans, and they both asked me if I could get him to say hi to them on the recording. And
Kevin.
so I asked him, hey, can you say hi to Robin and Anu? And he goes, Anu was the one who was like really like hell bent on getting this. And he goes, hi, Robin. Hi. You know what? Why don't you get them to email me? I'd be happy to chat with them. And he never actually finished saying hello to Anu. And he heard the recording. He's like, what the fuck? And I don't think I ever emailed him. And now he's never not going to get the chance to. So, but yeah, no, it's a good interview. If anyone wants to read it at the very least, reach out, post it in the comments. I can post a link to it to somewhere, and we'll get that sorted out. I had it posted somewhere. I think it's still up. If not, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I don't mean to berate you too much, but I think it would be cool to have that audio there. I think that would just be cool.
Oh yeah, no, I
Nice
do want to
history.
rip it. I do want to rip it. I do want to upload it.
All right,
That would be
I'll have to send,
great for people to hear.
I'll have to send you some equipment, just like I did the fucking the mic. I went to Best Buy and then mailed a mic to Fred.
Yeah, because everything I was using before just sounded like shit for some reason. Because it wasn't a mic. But no, it's I did that interview when I was 19 years old, and looking back on it now and the questions I asked, there are some questions I wish I had asked, just because over the last 20 years and getting to know Bathory more and more and more, like there's things I want to know. But all things considered, I'm pretty happy with how that interview turned out. The downside is you're going to have to hear my voice. And as if it's bad enough to hear it now, when I'm 19 years old, I can only imagine how much worse it must have been. But whatever, it is what it is.
It's probably cool.
Whether it's cool or absolutely nerdy, and I'm expecting the latter, who the fuck else has a recorded conversation with Quorthon?
Exactly. And who is now on Dish Podcast?
Yeah. But
No, that is very cool. That is pretty awesome. I remember you mentioned that to the black metal guy. He was like, "Wait, you interviewed Quorthon?"
in that exact voice, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but for that magazine, I had or webzine, I had interviewed a bunch of bands before, and most of them I knew nothing about, and they just turned out terrible. I had interviewed Amit from Arch Enemy back when they released Wages of Sin, or the one right after that, and
I don't even know that one.
yeah, you're that's fine. But holy hell, I did not know what to ask them because I didn't really listen to Arch Enemy that much. And if I had been smart, I would have asked about like some of the other bands he was in. But there's always that dilemma of you're asking a band that just released a new album, and you want to ask about those older bands that they were in that you actually like.
Because he was in Carnage, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So asking Mike Lambert about Carnage or Carcass or
Carcass. Yeah.
yeah,
He
that
was
would have
in the two
been
important
great.
car
But
bands.
it was a mix of me not wanting to offend who I was talking to and me not being familiar enough with them to ask questions about it. The other interview I did was with Tony Lazzaro of Vital Remains. That wasn't as bad because at least I enjoyed what I'd heard. But I had only really heard the new album at the time, Dechristianize. So most of my perception on Vital Remains was based off of that.
Yeah, me too.
Like not even five, like 2 or 3 years later, I would have Into Cold Darkness, and that's such a good album. Like that's probably top 15 death metal album for me. Like I love that album. But there is a great passage in that interview where I ask him, so what does Vital Remains actually mean? And the answer is like a written paragraph of him basically saying, I don't know. Like there's no, at the end of this paragraph, there's still no concrete answer as to what it means. But no, the worst one that I did was with Nevermore. Oh my god. Um, I didn't, and I still don't really like Nevermore.
I have one
Um,
song that I like. It's called "The Worms of Reality," I think.
oh, okay, yeah. Was that on, what's it called?
I have no idea.
Because the
They had a
album that had
music
just,
video.
oh yeah, no, I don't know. Because they had just released Enemies of Reality, which a lot
Yeah,
of people
that's
didn't.
the one. "Enemies of Reality."
Okay, yeah, there was a song on there called "Tomorrow Turned Into Yesterday" that I kind of liked, but like, it wasn't my kind of music. And I interviewed Jeff Loomis, who was very nice, but like I didn't know anything about the band. I didn't particularly like the music, and it was just brutal. And I'm just lucky that the site went down before that ever got posted because it was just shit. It was a terrible interview, and that's not Jeff's fault. That was my fault. Like, again, I was still 19. I didn't. I just took everything that came up because I just wanted more experience, and uh, yeah, that was not the right way to do it. It was such a bad interview.
Yeah, but speaking about Vital Remains, that fucking "Into Cold Darkness" album, that kind of reminds me of why old death metal is probably my favorite. Style of metal here.
So
The
just
old
a
Vital Remains is just awesome.
yeah, no, everything they did up to Dawn of the Apocalypse is fantastic, and I remember liking Dechristenize at the time, but when I listened to it again more recently, it wasn't really for me. I didn't dislike
Yeah.
it, but I love the drumming on Into Cold Darkness, and the drummer on that album, Rick Corbett, did not perform drums on any other metal album, and he only the singer for Vital Remains at that time, uh, Jeff Gruslin, he started another band called Godless Rising, and I think
Yeah.
he was drumming for them, but never recorded with them. So his performance on Into Cold Darkness is the only drum performance he ever performed for metal, anyways. And it's so good. And I actually found him on Instagram, and I'm like, "Are you the guy who recorded on Into Cold Darkness?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "It's so fucking good." But no, apparently his real passion is singing, so he's doing his musical endeavors now involve singing. He has some videos him covering Alice in Chains, and he's actually a really good singer. So good for him.
Yeah, I don't know if Vital Remains has a weird thing with their drummers. Fucking our friend Drew was telling us that he saw them in Texas in maybe like 2006 or something, and he said their drummer was this like 14-year-old blonde kid, like skater kid, and who was like an amazing drummer. And he said he can't find him on Metal Archives. Like who was this guy?
Well, I mean, look at their list of live musicians. It's like a fucking laundry list. Like, there's so many different people on there.
Yeah, one of their live singers did an episode with Jesse Lee Peterson on his show. Do you remember him, Paul? Oh,
Mm.
amazing! Yeah, he was on there like talking about Satanism and stuff.
So, Incantation, their live musician section is just as long. And I remember back in the day, Incantation's Metal Archives page said that they've had a lot of live musicians, and for the sake of sanity, they're not all listed.
Yeah, yeah. So
Now they've listed them. So
yeah, maybe it's just one of those things. I wonder who that blonde kid was that was apparently an amazing drummer. Doing for Vital Remains. That sounds weird. And he said he was dressed like some skater kid, which is even more weird.
maybe he was.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, here, look. If you pull up the V1 version of Incantation's page, Incantation is very likely to be the metal band that has used the highest number of different live members. They aren't all shown here for sanity's sake.
Hmm.
Because back when they didn't have any tabs, and just like listed members as a list right there on the main page. So you'd have to scroll just to get down to anything.
Always a bunch of clowns. Say, Fred, I don't think I ever told this story here. This is gonna be quick and also stupid. Um,
That's my favorite kind.
yeah, yeah. So I think this was like the first day of fourth grade. This is, you can already tell this is going good.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, so,
Yes, the quick and
Okay,
short story.
right,
The
right,
quick
right.
and stupid story.
My teacher was this Asian lady, and I guess they were going around the room doing like break the ice, whatever, and introduce yourself or something. And I don't remember what I said, but she turns me in, like she used to do this thing where she would like tilt her head, and she goes, "Oh, it looks like we have a class clown." And my neighbor, no, my neighbor Miguel was also in that class on the other side of the room. And as soon as she said that and it got quiet, he goes, "Are we going to the circus?" And she just turns around and like focuses on him. Are we going to the circus? That's good. He saved me. I save you, Danny.
You guys became best friends after that.
No, we were already friends. I met Miguel when we met in first grade class.
Mm. How did
Yeah,
he
so
save
we
you
were all-
then? No, I'm kidding.
I don't know. We had a big fat teacher. She
There
died.
it is, Fred.
I knew it. Every episode. Dan has a fat person story.
She wasn't big. She was fat.
No, she looked like Helga from the Oblongs, that like toad girl.
Yeah, the big girl of the show was just the red herring. I'm like, here it is, here it is. Nope. Oh, no. Here's the actual one.
Nah, she died. She was too
I
fat,
to-
I guess. I don't know.
I told you she did.
I see you. She did. I don't know. Speak ill of the dead. Don't speak ill of the dead.
No,
right.
no.
Well, fellers, you got anything else to say, or should we go to break?
I'm hungry. Let's go to break.
Yeah,
Grab
break
a snack.
Break.
All
I
right.
need to, I need to
Go
grab
to
myself
the
a
kitchen
Kraken.
and grab a little snack.
All right, we're back from break.
We are back.
Kraken.
Yeah, I need a Kraken too, but you won't be able to hear it, so there's no point for me to do it.
Try, anyways.
Let me grab a beer. Let me turn around. It's my
I mean,
beer's on the table
worst
behind
case scenario, you just yell Kraken anyways. So.
me. Okay, Kraken.
Hey, we heard it.
Did you really?
Not the
Yeah, I heard a
Kraken.
little psst.
Okay, it foamed up again.
What are you doing with your life?
Foaming up my beer.
What kind of beer?
Ballast Point, Sculpin. The best beer, the only beer you should be drinking.
Gulpin' the Sculpin.
Gulpin' that Sculpin. Gulp.
Just drinking water over here.
I'm drinking my water too.
Fix that mic hum.
She's fixed.
Mm.
Bum, 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 bum,
All right.
bum.
What'd you pick this time?
This time?
What have you done to us?
Yeah.
This time I think this is my first heavy metal, power metal pick. Is that right? Have I done anything like this before?
Is it your first?
I think it might be.
No, there was another album that was, I guess it was a bit more thrashy, but
What was that?
fuck, what
Oh,
was that
Holy
album?
Terror?
No. Oh, this is gonna bother me now.
Oh, Adamcraft?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not the first time picking
Not your
something
first
like
rodeo.
This. It's not my first rodeo. Okay. Yeah, so this week I picked Heaven's Gate, Livin in Hysteria, German band. This is their second album, comes out in 1991. This is a really early one for me too. Seems like a lot of my picks are stuff that I discovered a long time ago and still sort of remain favorites. So yeah, Heaven's Gate is a kind of speed power metalish band, and yeah, when the hell did I discover this? It must have been around, I'll say 2008, 2009, because I do remember walking to biology class listening to this on my iPod, and I thought it was real. I thought it was real catchy. I thought it was real, just really nicely written, and it just made sense. Like, oh, this is a fucking sick metal band. Even at that time of like discovering more of the classics, Morbid Angel and Carcass and and Anal Cunt. I know Anal Cunt's a weird one to be a classic, but they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, Heaven's Gate. You know, I guess this band had been around a little bit previous to what they were doing. They did an album in '84 under the name Steel Tower, and if people see that album cover, it might look familiar because I didn't realize that was Heaven's Gate or the same guys from Heaven's Gate because I had seen that Steel album cover for a long time and never
Night
really
of the
gave it a listen.
Dog.
Night of the Dog, that's right. And they had a band before that. I forget what they were called. So
Carry On.
basically, they were around. No, Carrion was a little bit after Steel Tower.
Oh,
I think
okay.
that would have been like '87 or something. But let's see. Let's get a real chronological order here. Okay, so the Steel Tower demo is 1983, and it says they existed before that in 1981. It says question mark, but it says before 1982. So let's just say 1981
Oh,
as a
String
band called
Eyes.
String Eyes, who was probably like hard rock or something like that. Oh, it says they've been around since the late 70s, which is really interesting, considering that I assume people would probably compare this band to Halloween, whose first effort comes out in 1984, and Steel Tower has a demo in 1983. So it's not quite influenced by Halloween. Maybe it is later as they go on or something. Who the fuck knows? But I think by 1981 they've really like honed their sound and really honed their guitar techniques because a lot of the guitar sorry, can't even talk. A lot of the guitar riffs here are really unexpected, and they do way more than most other bands do. Like it's far from the bare minimum. It's sort of it's sort of taking it over the top in a weird way. You know, we were saying I think during the break, this sort of comes out a little bit late, this second album, 1991. So there's a lot for them to draw from, and there's also a lot for them to there's a lot of time for them to just get good at their instruments basically. And
Yeah, from that
Yeah.
first album, In Control, to the second one, it was like night and day with also production. Like they sounded a little bit more grittier on that first one, and then you know, coming into the second one, they sound a little bit more polished and are doing more than just like the, you know, kind of Judas Priest and like kind of like like coarse kind of rhythm guitars and stuff. Like they actually do a lot of layering and stuff on this one.
yeah, there's a shitload of layering. There's a lot of layering with the lead guitar and even with the bass too. And this I would say this vocalist ain't nothing to fucking snub your nose at. He's
Yeah, he's
He's
made
pretty
for
darn
the he's made for the stadiums, man.
He's a strong vocalist. He's very
He's a
strong.
very strong vocal. I think this album is just extremely strong. It seems like the stuff that people had to say about this was that yeah, Livin in Hysteria is their best effort here.
Well, the cover's not strong.
The
I
cover's
think the
awesome.
cover's awesome. Yeah, I think the cover is terrific.
It's so
I think-
corny.
I think it's what's corny about it. There's nothing corny about it. You never. When have you ever seen a fucking Studley Dragon smoking a pipe with his like child slave?
On
Sweeping
a
the
random
bones.
platform, sweeping away a single skull.
Yeah, he got his arm on the pillow. He got the pipe. He got. His
I will
thumb
give her
on it.
this. There is a lot of detail on that hand that's on the pillow. It's a very human hand, a blue human
Yes,
hand.
Yeah, it's
we
veiny.
know that Fred likes hands in artwork.
No, it's not that I like hands in artwork. It's that I don't like Repka's hands in artwork.
Right. But when a hand is done good, Fred notices.
There's nothing I like more than a good hand job.
Oh,
Fred, oh my God!
We're talking about art. Jeez,
What kind of
guys.
show is it? Oh, okay. Okay, then it's fine. If you meant a hand job
God.
and the art sense. God, you really scared me there for a second. I thought we
Dragging
were
me
about
through
to
the
be-
gutter here, guys. Come
I thought
on.
we were going to be demonetized.
wouldn't have got
Our
your cut.
riches pulled away from us.
Yeah, you wouldn't
I
have got
know.
the cut this week, Fred.
We're not making any money, so just go to the big cartel and buy our CDs. How about that? But yeah, dude, I think that kind of going back to this album, uh, since I don't know 2009 or 2008 or something, I did notice that yeah, man, it's huge. The fucking production is huge. The riff, like every instrument shines. Everything is fucking just excellent. And I guess we can get more into that as we move forward here. But I guess before we start listening to music here, Fred, what can you say about this here?
I don't know. Like the thing is, I like this album, but my frame of reference for this style of metal is so small. Like I don't delve into this kind of band very often. I do hear a lot of Teutonic thrash in here. That's kind of a no-brainer. You had mentioned Halloween. I hear that. I hear kind of like the echoes of Judas Priest through this. But I feel like a lot of the bands I would compare it to are not necessarily great comparisons. It's just the ones I have the most exposure to in this kind of style. I really, really like the vocalist. What's his name? Thomas? Kind of reminds me of the guy from Slaughter Extroius and Realm, although he's not quite as unhinged as they are. And I kind of got a bit of a Hansi Kirsch from Blind Guardian vibe off of him. Not the later Blind Guardian, where he's a bit more refined, but the more power speed metal-y approach from like Battalions of Fear and Follow the Blind sort of thing.
Yeah, so, something else I wanted to bring up about this too is that, you know, it is from '91. It's still kind of predating what power metal would become.
Yeah, exactly.
As sort of,
I feel like they like open the gates for like the stadiums for these big bands because they have like such an anthemic sound, and then everything from like the European like symphonic power metal could just like totally walk on the path that they carved, at least for like production wise, I think. Because like there's literally like harmonies that sound like something out of like Meatloaf or some shit on here.
I'm looking at the singer's Metal Archives page. It says trivia, nicknamed Fred in Heaven's Gate.
Oh, yeah.
Thomas nicknames Fred. I don't see how or why, but
And we'll say that the next tidbit is the instrumental is called Fredless.
it is called Fredless. It's a good instrumental.
Yeah, I feel like they go all out for that one actually.
Yeah, it's really awesome. That's just the thing about this too. I feel like this band is really extraordinary when it comes to maybe not all their stuff, really just this album. This is the one where they fucking rock, they rock, they roll, they take control. Something I like about it too is sort of the like adult oriented rock sort of vibe that they give here. They have the gang shouts. They have a ballad in there. They have a few slow songs. They got some fast ones. They're sort of doing everything that a stadium band a stadium metal band could like ever dream to do. Even the guitar player is doing some like neoclassical stuff where it's almost in the vein of like Van Halen or something like that.
Yeah, I was getting
Yeah.
big like Scorpion and Thin Lizzy vibes from this.
Yes, exactly. Like it still has a very metal vibe, like 80s metal in its heart, but at the same time it has an accessibility in, you know, maybe if circumstances were better for them, they probably could have kept going and making decent. I don't know though, because I've heard their other shit and it kind of doesn't touch this album.
Hell for sale.
Yeah, it just shit. Hold on a second. I'm getting a call. I'm getting a call from the veterinarian. Yeah, that's right.
Legit.
Yeah, for Dean. Yeah, how long you guys open? Okay, yeah, I'll bring him over. Okay. Bye. Okay. Dean was supposed to go to the vet, and the vet, they call you when they're ready, and I went over there at like 3 and it's 8 now, so
Holy hell.
let me call my dad real quick and tell him to bring Dean to the vet.
Sure.
All right, we're back after that quick call.
Quick call, the vet's ready for Dean. He's been itching and he needs his allergy shot. Because he's good after that. He stops itching after that.
I was gonna say their last album, fucking
Planet E.
no Menergy.
Menergy, right. That's gay.
Yeah, they have a bunch of. Damn, these songs are. Yeah, they have like little interlude ones. Teleshoot. I guess it's like a concept album where it's like on TV or something. There's like. some
Truthfully, I
commercials
haven't
on.
heard Planet E or Menergy, but I have heard a little bit of Hell for Sale. And it's just kind of like, it's nice. It's okay. But as somebody said on a Metal Archives review that it gets a little bit too gamma ray-ish in the sense that it is becoming like what you would expect from power metal, a little bit too generic. Here, I feel like they have their own identity. There's really not a lot of there's genericisms, but not in a way that's lame, in a way that like sort of takes them over the top. And that makes this album really, really strong, and I think it should be considered a classic. I don't know if it is or not. I've never heard anybody talk about it. I've never heard anybody bring it up.
Yeah, I think it's like a not in like a B tier and just like waves of band that you have to go through to find something you like. They're probably like in a C tier.
Yeah, they're somewhere. I mean, I don't know how advanced it is to find this band. I found them very early on, but then again, YouTube was very different in 2008, 2009. It was a lot easier to find cool bands. Nowadays, it's that
Flooded.
sort of searching is it sort of died. You don't really get the amount of good bands that you used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think this is an excellent. I think it's basically a classic, man. I think it's fucking extraordinary, dude. It's pretty darn good. Guitar work is everything works together so damn well. Is basically what I'm saying.
All right. Well, what song should we listen to?
I guess let's go with the first one, the title track.
Livin in Hysteria. All right.
Livin in Hysteria. They do
We'll be
have a
right
music
back.
video.
No place to hide away from evil, and they don't know why. Escaping from the kind of devil and start to fry. Always watching, always on the run, and the fear
we're back from listening to that song and watching the
And
music
also,
video.
yeah, and also watching the music.
watching him gyrate.
Uh,
I
That
like the
was
guy with the Hulk
some-
Hogan haircut.
yeah.
No, my singer's a favorite. Like the leather jacket with the white button shirt that's unbuttoned all the way down to like the last two buttons, and the bandana, and just during the solos, and he's just kind of standing in the background bopping away. That's where it's at.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a pretty hilarious video.
Yeah,
That said, good fucking song.
Yeah.
it is a good song. You can see why a young me would be bobbing my head to this walking to class.
You
It's
would be
just a good
enthralled.
song. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
it's got a nice narrative to it. Like the lyrics are not totally generic. They're like interesting enough, and the patterns of all the lyrics are really kind of I don't know. I feel like you don't get anything like this in particular very often. I wanted to mention too that like you get a lot of weird prog stuff within some of the transitions, and even when they start to go into the instrumental section here, where it starts to sound like something like Van Halen or like Steve Vai or like Joe Satriani, where he's doing the finger picking, and it gives a really strange vibe, like almost like a reggae kind of thing. But Paul said it sounded like a musical, like Rocky Horror Picture Show or something.
Yeah.
Called Hysteria. Yeah, it's very
You can see that.
Theatrical.
It's-
Yeah.
it's theatrical, it's bombastic. All the guitar stuff is really impressive, even though this band sort of does come off as like a second-rate Halloween or just some German band you never heard of before. It's actually
Yeah. Wonder
quite
if,
good.
wonder if these guys were. Oh, Fred's buzzing.
Fred, you're buzzing.
There you go.
Better. Yeah.
I was wondering if these guys are influenced at all by like Queen or something too, just with like the AOR stuff, and definitely that like sort of musical part.
Or it's
I
like
can totally see that.
I would think they would have to be.
Yeah.
Like, even vocally, like
Mhm.
the levels that Freddie Mercury went to feels like he's reaching for that sort of thing.
Yeah, because I mean, this is obviously just like it's a heavy metal album, but in some sense, it feels like it's reaching for something more. Like it feels like, you know, a lot of underground bands would be like, "Oh, we don't care if we get famous." It feels like this band
Yeah, they're trying to
sort
be
of had
accessible.
that ambition, and they definitely have that sort of production and songwriting and arrangement and everything what they do. It seems like they really could be interesting for like even hard rock people, not just metal people, but hard rock people would find this enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it doesn't really have anything to do with black or death metal or even thrash for that matter. It does have to do with old heavy metal, and it does have to, like Judas Priest for sure. I think on that Steel Tower album they have a song called "Break the Law," and there's a riff in there that sounds a lot like "Breaking the Law." So I think that was just a straight up like ode to Judas Priest,
Yeah.
sort of like Burzum did with fucking Bathory on Necromancy, I think is the song. But yeah, something else to remember too is like these guys have been around since like the late 70s, and they are a little bit older, but that sort of just makes the instrumentation stronger. And it's kind of weird. It's like during this time, during the early 90s and late 80s, when it came to musicians who have been at it for at least 10 years, interesting shit sort of came out of bands like that. In particular, I was thinking of the band Risk, who was also from Germany, and I don't know if people are familiar with that band, but they also started off about 10 years earlier. They were doing like prog rock in a band called Faithful Breath, and then sort of made their way into doing thrash metal when they're like in their, I don't know, early to mid 30s or something like that. Even Hex, I think they might. I forget where Hex is from. Hex with 2 X's. They start off doing like heavy metal, and then they kind of get a little bit more extreme, something like Forced Entry maybe, and then eventually they end up as a death metal band, which is sort of strange. This band didn't take that route exactly. They kind of just honed their craft into making really accessible sounding heavy metal and like hard rock and like adult oriented rock, something like a Boston fan could dig this. But I also think that straight up like traditional heavy metal fans would get a lot from this. What do you guys think?
I could see the appeal to, yeah, like anyone who's into new wave British heavy metal, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, the usual suspects. I think they will get something out of this, and I think the fact that it came so much later, like in '91, I think the production is beefier for it. So I think it's a rare treat that you hear something that would come from that era, but with such bolstered production. Usually, like the ones I've heard historically, generally speaking, are a bit more thin sounding. This sounds meaty, like it's nice and thick.
Yeah, it really is an easy listening thing. So comes the adult oriented rock, easy listening.
Yeah.
But I think something that this has that maybe some of the classic older bands don't. This album, again coming out in '91, they've sort of. It seems like every single riff and every single change and every single vocal arrangement and things like that, it seems like they're trying their damnedest to do something different than anybody. Do something unexpected, I think, with all the guitar licks and solos and there's so much more going on. They sort of don't stop where a lot of bands probably would just do something simple. I'll say that now. It would like covering a band like this would actually probably be a challenge.
Well, there was that weird part that's like,
Yeah,
in like
the finger picking part, right?
Yeah, like
The
it
Steve Vai part.
it didn't really fit. Like it kind of stuck
sort of
out like a
comes out
sore
of nowhere.
thumb.
It
Yeah.
does, but it leads into a cool solo.
It does. The solo is fantastic, but that part with the weird picking kind of felt like a throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. That didn't really stick. It wasn't horrible, but it kind of stuck out from the rest of the song as why is this here?
Yeah, it's a little bit weird. Like Paul said, it's a little bit like a musical. I still like it, but I imagine if I were to put this on at like in front of metal people, they'd be like, well, "Why do you put this on?" You like this? Yeah, I do like this. It's good. Shut up. Yeah. Do you have anything else to say about that track there, Paulie?
Other than that, just that one like main like actual like metal riff is just like such an earworm. It's like down now like
Oh that ending part.
Yeah, that they play like earlier before it goes into like that musical section and solo, and then they bring it back to end it.
That's the main riff.
Yeah, because
it's like
that's fucking awesome.
It goes down, jigga 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 down. It's an interesting way to end that riff. Down jigga 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 down. Yeah, that's basically what that ending riff is. It's the main riff, just sort of higher, I guess.
Yeah, and then other than that, shout out to Hellcat for uploading the music video.
I think her name's Elcat.
Is it?
I think that's J-Dog's wife, isn't it? I think her name is Elcat.
I thought it was
Unless
Hellcat.
it might be Hellcat. I might be mistaken. I don't know. Oh no, it is Elcat. Her name's Lindsay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it is Elcat.
Another thing to cut out. I'm just kidding.
All right, should we listen to the instrumental, or should we go to flashes? Because I feel like there's a few like we all pick the sort of speedier songs, and there's a little bit more to this album.
All right, I'll change my pick to
Now,
best
you don't have
day
to change
ever.
your pick. I think
What
we
did you say?
oh, the fucking ballad,
Best days of my life.
the best days of my life. Oh god.
If we listen to Fredless, do I have to leave while we listen?
You can't listen to that one.
No.
You're not allowed. You know what? Let's go through your guys' picks, and then we'll see how we feel at the end if we want to do another one.
All right, Fred, you did flashing, right?
Fled.
Flood.
Fred.
Flashes, yeah.
All right,
The flashes of
7th track. We'll be back in a flash.
That
We
sucked.
rock.
I forgot
we
for the
roll.
first one, so.
We rock. We roll. We're taking control.
That was hands down my favorite track from the album. It's
probably
so
it's probably my favorite track from the album too.
yeah, it's so energetic. Like the machine gun drums, it's just great. Kind of I was saying getting like Saxon vibes, Man of War vibes from it. And the way it started off actually kind of made me think of Motorhead too, but everything makes me think of Motorhead because everything is related to Motorhead. So
Well, they have
It worked.
they have the drumming going, and then they have the guitar like stop where it's like bow, down, down,
Mhm.
down. But yeah, during that like second section, it does sound a lot like Exciter from Priest, which is from like I don't know 76 or something. that must have been fucking breakneck. I saw a live video of Judas Priest doing that song in Japan in '76. It's like, God, that must have been something. They're basically doing speed metal in '76. Thought that was incredible. But yeah, good solo. Even that main riff where it's like, who does that? And it sort of just keeps going, where like you think it sort of take it into a different direction, but it kind of goes faster and faster, and the high notes where it's like bing 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 ding 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 ding. It sort of reminds me of something like a Japanese band would do, like fucking Loudness or something, or in particular a band called Tokyo, who I think were a new wave British heavy metal band. They had a song called what was that song called? Paul, do you remember that Tokyo song where he's like, I'll break your heart and I'll rip you apart. I don't care. I got no feelings at all.
Yeah, I think that sounds familiar.
It's just something like that. I'll tear you apart. I'll break your heart. I don't care. Got no feelings at all. And you're like, those are incel lyrics. Well, those are opposite of incel lyrics. Incel are breaking nobody's heart.
But yeah, this was definitely one of the highlights of this track or of this album, because like we said, this one goes into a bunch of different directions, especially with like the instrumental track, which has the same intensity as this track, but you know, obviously they're just kind of soloing all over it, and then has more anthemic, like stompy, strutty songs that kind of start off with like I think "Empty Way to Nowhere." I was kind of wanting to do that song because it's like a mix.
That's a really good one too.
Yeah, it's like a mix of like this kind of like high flying stuff as well as like doing like the anthemic, like sing the chorus with us type shit. And
well, yeah, they all chant, "We rock, we roll, we're taking control."
And then yeah, then they got like "Can't Stop Rockin'" and "We Want It All," and then of course my favorite, "Best Days of My Life."
Yeah, the beautiful ballad.
Yeah.
With like the piano, or as Drew would say, the piano. Piano Reeves.
Piano Reeves, yeah.
Play us a song. You're the piano man.
But yeah, it's definitely like it felt like a much like you said, like having older musicians kind of making this, because to be putting these kind of tracks alongside these like high flying ones is like definitely a decision.
Everybody needs to be on the same page with those.
Yeah, because I can feel like people will go into this album and you know they'll find like the heavy metal canon songs from there. They're like, oh yeah, Living in Hysteria a bit, and you know, Flashes and Gate of Heaven, but the rest will kind of, I don't know, I feel like it may be not what people are looking for, but
I feel like it's what people need though. I feel like they do things that nobody does anymore, and they also do things that nobody really listens to anymore, but all the songs are good. Even with like that song, the slower track, Never Ending Fire, I really like that one too. That one sounds like Warlord Deliver Us, or like even something that that newer band Grenadier would do, and their previous band Fire Rain. It has those kind of vibes to it.
yeah, it just seems like they're taking a lot from like Scorpions for like a lot of these other tracks, with just how big and like anthemic these songs are striving to be, you know, but they are like just so catchy that you can't help but you know, rock with them.
Yeah, you can't help. I mean, it is a metal album, but it really can just work as a rock album too. This is it's an album for everybody. It's an album for all you swine out there.
Fun for the whole family.
That's right. You show this to your mammy.
Yeah, I was gonna say it has like that glam sort of accessibility too, where like chicks will be at the concert loving it too.
Yeah, everyone's gonna like Heaven's Gate. Oh, something that Paul reminded me of. He was talking about the Scorpions, and I was talking about the AOR thing. Something another band that is really good that kind of reminds me of this a little bit with some of the slower tracks. A German band called Bonfire. They're probably like one of the closest bands that I think they deliberately wanted to sound like the Scorpions. Bonfire has a song called Staring Eyes. Maybe we'll play that one later too, just for fun. Because that's a fun music video and it's a fun song.
Just for shits and giggles.
Just for shits and giggles.
Yeah,
Because
why
I
not?
think we and everyone else should hear it. It's a good song.
All right, well, we'll save that for last, and we'll go into my pick, which is the last track, "Gate of Heaven." And yeah, we'll be right back.
Don't believe in the lies you told. You will never die in a heart of gold. Stop pretending to be so brave. There will be no diamonds within your grave. It's time to attention. Here we are together again. Here we are. It's time to be mentioned. Roaring like thunder, a beast like a wonder without any move. Gonna get closer to you. We're all waiting for the heavens gate. You know the time will come, but don't be late. The key of love is always waiting for a smile until the day I'll die. Stop pretending to be a star with a pretty face. You won't get too far. Watch the bills growing in your eyes for a wasteful life. It's burning the price. It's time to attention. Here we are together again. Here we are. It's time to be mentioned. Roaring like thunder, appears like a wonder without any move. Gonna get closer to you. We're all waiting for the heavens gate. You know the time will come, but don't be late. The key of love is always waiting for a smile until the day I'll die. Dark light reactions and full life reflections. Heaven's gate wonder with lightning and thunder. It's got the power to trap and devour. Searching for more, we slip through the door.
Alright, we're back, and that's how you end an album.
Whew.
Until the day he dies.
Here
Was it
we
this
are.
song where he says it's time to be mentioned?
Yeah, here we are. Stand to attention. Here we are together again. Here we are. It's time to be mentioned. Well, here you go.
You're mentioned.
Got an entire podcast episode about you guys.
You won.
You won.
You win, Heaven's Gate, living in hysteria.
And your
It
little
only
Fred,
took
too.
it only took like 35 years, but you won.
And your little Fred, too.
Is he your little friend or little Fred?
Little Fred.
Little Fred.
Well, that's rude.
Well, they're little Fred. Or are you standing up for all those who are nicknamed Fred?
All of them.
Yeah, who would... They have a completely different name, and the
His name
nickname's
is
Fred.
His name is Thomas. In Heaven's Gate, his name is Fred.
My name's Tom, but you can call me Fred. What?
I really like that backing vocal part. Ah!
Oh, yeah, at the end.
Yeah,
this is...
The vocals as a whole are just a highlight of this track. Like they're just constant.
Yeah, this song is for sure their most traditionally power metal in like
Yeah.
a European sense of like what would come afterward, and then also alongside like Blind Guardian and stuff where it's more of a vocal led song.
But again, this is still riffing more than those
Yeah.
bands does. Even if you listen to that first riff, where it's like, how the fuck did it start off? It was like, it's like it doesn't stop. It just keeps going, and then you get like a chord, and then you get just more fucking riff,
Yeah,
and then you get epic solos.
Because of the really strong drum sound on this, it reminded me a lot of that Camelot album, The Fourth Legacy. Like, it has a really powerful drum sound on that, and it kind of gave me the same vibes as that, especially the very first track on there. I think it's the title track. And the singer isn't as refined as Khan was on that album. He was a bit more controlled, which is why I like Fred, actually, because he sounds very much in control, but it's also...
good name actually.
They rock, they
Yeah.
roll, they're taking control.
But it's also like, it sounds unhinged, but he's reining it in that it doesn't sound like... It sounds intentional.
Yeah, he must have like
Yeah.
some like operatic training or something going on. Cause like that.
I don't
good.
know. I don't know, but he's definitely a really good vocalist. I enjoy his performance the whole album through.
Yeah, something that this did remind me of is a band called Majestic Right, who were like a power metal band. But they do it in more of an American way where it sounds tough. And I feel like this, although it does sound German, it does sort of retain like the toughness of U.S. power metal, like Manila Road and fucking Omen and things like that.
Hmm.
And also those backing vocals, that part where he was like singing over himself, that reminded me of a band called Tarantula. I forget where they're from, maybe Peru. And also a band from Sweden called Scratch, where like the end of the song kind of has this, just epic backing vocal to kind of carry it home.
Yeah, I think I remember you showing me that song from scratch.
I forget how the hell that ending went. How the fuck did it go? It was like, how the fuck did that song go? Now we got to just play a bunch of songs on here.
Fredless.
But yeah, I mean that is a pretty darn good end of the album. And yeah, it does sort of show like what is to come, but at the same time there are still like slight proggy elements to it where it's like
Yeah.
there are more probably on the other songs that we didn't play. I think we should probably play the instrumental just to showcase like some of the more modern things that are going on here, because there are things that sound like fucking Meshuggah, or maybe we don't have to. Maybe we can just go to the bonfire song just for fun or something. I just wanted to I just wanted to amplify that, like, yeah, Fredless has weird things that sound like fucking Meshuggah. It's very, very strange. Or like Devin Townsend or something, but in a cool way. Because it's not there forever, like Devin Townsend would be. It's there for a quick transition.
Well, you guys say Fredless, I say best days of my life.
Oh. Am I the tiebreaker?
Yeah.
Well, I also said Bonfire, too. But that maybe that's just a given.
I'm gonna have to go for best days. If we do Fredless, I think I have to leave the room.
All right, we're doing it.
Are we listening to Best Days of My Life?
Hell
It
yeah,
says
we are.
Best Days of My Life. All right, when we do, I still want to do the Bonfire song, but I just want to hear the fucking chorus so we can sample the chorus. How about that?
All right, that'll
that's
be
fair.
good. All right, well, let's for real do Fredless, so I don't want to submit.
Yeah. For real, Fredless is actually sick. Best Days of My Life is
Yeah, you
it's
thought,
good.
You
but
thought
but
that,
listen to that one on your own.
Yeah, you thought that first track with that weird guitar part was out of place. Like this one.
Got nothing on this.
Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah,
we'll listen
Fredless
to,
goes nuts.
We'll listen to Fredless without Fred, and we'll be right back.
Oh.
All right, we're back.
Yeah, that's just the show off track there. That
That was like.
But you know what? I'd rather that than some pointless interlude of just like acoustic guitar.
Yeah, because
Like
that's
that's a
actually fun.
banger.
Yeah, it's
That's
actually
a
fun
banger of a
instrumental.
track.
Yeah, and then you got that weird like little backing guitar part where it's like dun 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 dun. That's the part I was saying. It sounds like Devin Townsend or something. It sounds like something more of the time from a a different side of the genre.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. That's how you do an instrumental. And I think I might have wanted to save this to the end, but maybe I'll just say this now. Yes, this is leaning towards more generic power metal, but this actually has riffs where I feel like generic power metal doesn't. They just have chugging and leads that are forgettable. And everything here is pretty fucking impactful. All the solos are impactful. All the riffs are impactful. Once you hear this album, you aren't gonna forget it. And once you look at that fucking album cover, you're not gonna forget it. You're gonna forget that
No.
stud dragon.
You cannot forget that cover, the dragon.
Yeah,
No.
Chad Dragon.
You're gonna
Don't
be
forget
thinking
the
about
dragon.
Yeah,
Don't
it's gonna
forget the
make you wanna
dragon.
buy it. Yeah, everyone's gonna buy a pipe after this. Because they're like, yeah, I'm gonna be just like that freaking dragon, dude. That awesome blue dragon.
What are you doing, Dad? Shut up. Keep sweeping.
Yeah. Yeah. And Fred will never forget that track to Fredless.
Ugh. I feel like I'm not allowed to enjoy it.
Yeah, it was like the 2023 retrospective where we went Fredless for a second.
I know, I couldn't believe that.
And Ramlord.
Yeah, we did go Fredless for a little bit. We never did a full episode without him, but I don't know if we could survive.
Yeah, wherever Fred is not present, I'm just gonna title the videos that. Partly
Fredless.
So we got something out of this album.
Yeah. let's for fun, let's listen to Bonfire Staring Eyes. Just up until like the chorus, just because I want you guys to hear it, because it's really good. I want not just you guys, but all the guys. It's a really cool chorus. Hopefully Paul doesn't forget to add it in here.
Alright, we'll be right back.
I like that. I thought that chorus is fucking awesome.
So I don't know if I'll include that one. No, just kidding.
No, you don't like that? Really? I thought that was awesome.
It's definitely leaning more to the hard rock. But I
Yeah,
know
but it's
I've heard
badass.
what you're saying, like being like more Scorpion worship anyway. So
Yeah, I just wanted to play it for fun.
who had fun? I'm just kidding.
No, I dig it.
Eyes, your eyes on fire. Yeah, you get that like Chinese chick. That's pretty cool.
Cassandra.
You're Asian.
But should we get in some final thoughts on this? Or you guys have anything else to say?
No, that chorus is just fucking awesome. I just wanted to play it. I don't know how long we've been recording.
Yeah, I didn't know we had started again as well.
Yeah, neither did I.
Oh, we've been.
Okay, who usually goes first for the final?
Paul's like,
thoughts
just
here?
get this shit done.
Fred, go.
Oh no, fuck.
No.
Final thoughts, Fred, go.
I like it.
It's not black or death metal.
It's not.
No.
It's not. It's different.
No, and I've never been
But
like
it's still
exclusive.
fucking metal.
Yeah, I've never been exclusively Black and Death. It's just the level of.
Fred's been exclusively a fucking badass bitch. No, I'm just kidding.
I was born that way. No, I mean, like, it's not black or death metal. That's fine. I don't have a problem with the other genres of metal. I like them. I appreciate them. I just don't listen to them quite as often. But as far as just the album in general is concerned, it fucking rips. The production, the energy level is right where it needs to be, except maybe on that ballad. Which, why? But, I mean, otherwise...
What?
Why?
The ballad, Jerry. What? It's a ballad. What? It's heavy metal. Come on.
No, I feel like it has a remarkable amount of Teutonic thrash in it, and
Huh?
it's almost like that upsy energy to it.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I hear some of that in there,
Oh, cool.
but yeah, no, I like it. I don't know what else to say about it. It's a good album. I probably won't listen to it super often, but if I find a copy, I'd pick it up. So that's the endorsement.
Yeah, pick it up just to look at that album cover, huh?
Yeah, I'd get a poster of that.
Put it in your band room.
No, I put it in the washroom.
Fred, has anybody ever approached you to be in their band to like do vocals?
No,
No one's ever asked you to be in their band.
So every band
No.
is Fredless right now.
and that is a mistake.
Yeah.
I should be
have
doing
you,
vocals.
Have you ever wanted to be in a band doing vocals?
I do guest vocals.
You do?
I
Or
would.
you would? You would.
I would.
Okay. Maybe we'll have to hook you up with that one of these days. Maybe we'll fly you out here. You can be the vocalist or something.
Let's record them during the podcast.
Do
Fred, we
vocals
guessed
now?
we guessed vocals for the song we're doing. Okay, hang on.
Not bad. Not bad. He did that right on the spot.
No warm up.
Pierce my ears that the Babadook was coming to get me. I love the Babadook.
Paul, go.
Oh. Yeah, Paul, what do you really think? Like, all seriousness? This is serious? This is
Yes,
serious?
fine. Like
Yeah.
Not
we're
my
we're trying to do a podcast here, guys.
not my
Yeah.
particular taste in power metal and heavy metal here. It's sort of like at a weird fusion that was like taking time and time for me to grow onto. But I think just with the certain dynamics that they had throughout the album kind of paced it well, because I couldn't imagine all of like the banger tracks one after another and then the rest of the tracks are like all soft and like kind of rock anthem-ish. So I think they did a good job on like at least the track list of this album, and when it leans into its like more power metal, heavy metal isms, I think that's where they shine. But also a lot of their transitions and lengths of riffs, like Daniel keeps saying, it's like taking from like prog and sort of like this like AOR type of music as well, and they don't forget to go back even further from bands that they're contemporary with to like bands like Scorpions and Thin Lizzy to like, you know, sort of see that progression filter through them. And I think that this album came out at a weird time. Like if this came out maybe 5 years earlier, maybe 3 years earlier, I think it would be more of an appropriate time. But just with like the production level and everything with it, I think it paved the way for a lot of these like arena power metal bands. Like they along with the other bands like Blind Guardian, of course. Like I feel like this one isn't gonna be on many people's thanks list, but people who know it, you know, obviously love it.
Very nicely put. Yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
As if I'm in the band.
Yeah, because you showed me this a while ago, and I just never forgot this album art. Like you
I
mentioned,
don't remember
Evan-
showing this to you. I always thought this was like a secret band of mine.
No, you showed me at least the album art. Probably
okay.
along the same time that you showed me like the Praying Mantis album art.
Right. The mantis with the little gun, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like it's just always in my head. This album art, it lives there rent free. That dragon. But yeah, now that I'm listening to it, I like just today I started like actually liking it. But all the way up until then, I was like, is this a classic pick or why are we doing this?
Doing it because
Yeah.
I like it and I think it's really good. That's
No,
why.
but yeah, I started to really appreciate it more, and especially like framing it in that way of like as a whole album, they tracked this or put the track list together perfectly, and this vocalist is like outstanding.
I remember the band that it reminded me of now on certain parts, and Angel Witch, which explains why I like it so much.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely got all the old school isms. I don't want to say tropes because that is usually a negative thing, but it
Yeah.
has all those things, and it has all the tropes, but it does it in a way that I think makes it actually valid.
It looks like this vocalist kind of got his break from Heaven's Gate because he started doing like guest sessions on bands like in the '90s and onward, like Ed Guy and Camelot and Rhapsody of Fire, Running Wild,
Oh,
stuff
damn.
like that. So
Wow.
I
Okay.
think they picked him up on what they were hearing from his band. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I see how this could be like, oh, this guy's old band, they're pretty good, and yeah, they are pretty good. As far as it, you're kind of right, Paul. Like it is in a weird place. It's not quite power metal. It is heavy metal, but it still has a lot of like throwbacks to other things, and also like looking forward towards the future kind of things, which is why I think it's a really interesting release. And yeah, like fucking not just production wise, but like construction and arrangement and the way all the riffs are written and all the vocal patterns are done here. It's I think it's excellent and should be looked at as a classic. And I think there are a lot of things to take from this band just because they don't really do anything that's stereotypical in the actual riffing or even the vocal arrangements for that matter. It may seem that way at first glance or at first listen, but if you listen on and on like a little bit more, it kind of it kind of shows that it's kind of smarter than a lot of contemporary power metal is.
Yeah.
And I think it sort of does stand the test of time in my opinion, because I mean there's a point where certain albums are just like, oh, it's old school, it's nostalgic. This doesn't really have that because it's not from the 80s.
Well, I was gonna
But-
say like this album, like not timeless for me. Like I definitely got taken back to like the '80s, like I was saying.
Oh, you think so?
Like-
Well, I think they're definitely rooted in the 80s. Like their heart is in the 80s.
Yeah, like I mentioned, a lot of
But
their
it
like
feels like they're
more
also
like
moving forward a bit too.
a lot of their like flexing riffs were like
That might just
kind
be
of
the
like
production, though.
a montage for like Ping Pong Summer.
Right. Yeah, this could be a montage for
This
Ping
is
Pong
workout
Summer.
music. I'm sure Joe does work out to this.
Yeah. Fred, you're right. The production does have a lot to do with it, but I'm also really just looking at the riffing, and in a way that a lot of bands would kind of do something more simplistic.
Yeah,
This
just more
band
chord
sort of-
wise, where these guys are like actually.
Yeah, they take it to the next level. They take all the 80s isms and sort of make like push them to a point where
Push them into the 90s.
push them into a point where like it's important and push them to make these songs important, I think, and to make just to make them good, basically.
Yeah.
It's not from the 80s. It does sound like it, but there's a lot more intricacies there with all the members of the band sort of highlighting that.
Yeah.
And I do think that this is a classic. Well, for me.
All right, no classic pick for you next. I'm just kidding.
Well, well, it seems like both of the other BBR boys liked it, so this is now a BBR classic. Heaven's Gate, Livin' in Hysteria. It's funny, it's good, and it's fun. So, and also really, if you're a metaler, you should like this. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you, because don't
We'll
forget,
give you a
I'm
pass on best day of my life, though.
not, maybe you'll get a pass. Because remember, I do like I like metal. I love me metal, but I'm also a rocker. I like rock music, basically. Not really into anything else. I like rock and metal. That's what I like. So here you go. Here's a rock metal pick for you. And also, check out the song Soldier of Life by Axe Victims, because that reminded me of this too a little bit. And also, me at the BBR, I like to hate watch Music of Destruction. I'm not going to say we at the BBR, because the other two guys, they're doing their own thing. But yeah, Music of Destruction, this guy's a real, just
Hate watch.
he's a real dork. And I don't mind starting shit with him because I think it would be funny because he's a real poop head. How about that?
Legit.
He's not gonna hear this. But if he does, yeah, what a butthead.